There's a lot of men struggling right now. There's a lot of them. And we have our own battles that we fight every day. I'm watching the suicide rate every year get worse and worse and worse. How does a man dig himself out of a hole that seems so deep that he feels he can't, and there's no other choice?
I say a lot of times you can fix anything but death. And it scares the hell out of me, and it makes me sad. Because when somebody decides that, they believe that there's no other options. And I'm here to tell you again, I'm going to say it again. We can fix anything but death.
Yeah.
So there are options. If you're feeling that or seeing that, reach out to somebody, because everybody cares. The irreparable harm that you do by your loss has rippling effects for generations.
Yeah.
People that, they call it death by
1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, that. Sure, where you drink yourself to death over a slow period of time. Answer to a short question is, we have to look inside, we have to ask for help and admit that there's something wrong, and be vulnerable enough to realize that I need help. Tyler, I've been my whole life where I've done everything myself. I never asked for anybody. It was me against the world. My stepfather drowned me. My mother beat the hell out of me on my 9th birthday, tried to kill me. My stepfather gave me the first beer. I was nothing, just nothing. My entire upbringing, during my fortifiable years that I'm supposed to become a man, I was scared to death.
Kelly Siegel, welcome to the Rollercoaster Podcast. Thank you for being here.
There are no coincidences, brother. I just said it before we hit record. We're here for a reason. In person, you weren't supposed to be here either, and somehow we connected. And man, I'm excited to be on life's roller coaster, because many of us are on that freaking merry-go-round, and we just puke.
Yeah.
You're on a roller coaster. You got the ups and the downs, and you know that when you're on those downs, an up is coming. You're coming over that friggin' enjoy the ride.
Dude, I love your stuff. I love your energy. I love what you're about. And I find with men like you who on the exterior are literally physically very hard. For those who are not watching but listening, Kelly's wearing a long sleeve hoodie, and I can see veins through his hoodie in his biceps. So he's a monster. He's just a absolute monster. On the outside, but I want to really dig and today talk about what's on the inside, Kay, and how you've become who you are today. So,
well, then I'll start off right off the bat.
Sure.
You want to know why I have this big physique? My stepfather was he was 6'2", 260 pounds, used to beat on me. Yeah. And I said, hey, I'm going to start working out because I'm going to fight back. Yeah. And that was the first adversity, resilience, and realized that I had power. I had a voice. I could be seen. And then just become addicted. Now I like to look good. I feel good. It's a conversation starter. And now, we're launching a fitness app and health and fitness app. And it realized that this is just, I'll be 48 in a week. And it's just fun and it feels good. You go in the gym and it just dispense justice for an hour and a half, and it clear my mind. And I listen to a podcast.
Dispense justice.
Yeah, because I'm not getting cheated, bro. I don't do anything. I don't do anything.
Come on.
How you do anything is how you do everything. I'm bringing it, man, every day. Even when I don't feel like it. I don't negotiate with myself, because there's a lot of that poor little kid that was getting beat still that comes up that I use as that fuel to thrive, not survive anymore. It used to be survival. And you told me before we hit record, it used to be a tough guy. I used to be a tough guy because it was survival. Now it's thriving. Yeah. You do the work. You flip that on its head, and it's beautiful. And I forgive my stepdad for, he did the best he could. But the cycle stopped with me, Ty. That's it. It's on. My daughter doesn't experience any of this stuff. She lives a good life.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just had...
Thank you, though, for the compliment.
You got it, man. I just had Justin Prince on the show. I don't know if you know Justin or any of his work, but he wrote a book called Be the One. And it talks about being a cycle breaker, right? Like somebody is going to break the cycle in these generations of time in a family, and it should be you. You should be the one. So I love what you said about that. There's a lot of men struggling right now. There's a lot of them, and we've been there, and we have our own battles that we fight every day for sure. But there's a lot of men, man, that are really struggling, and I'm watching the suicide rate every year get worse and worse and worse. And it's part of my deepest work now, man, is just trying to help men and build community so they feel safe to open up. I'd love to get your perspective on this. And, how does a man dig himself out of a hole that seems so deep that he feels he can't, and there's no other choice?
Man, you just went deep. My heart started pounding right away, because that's when I drank and partied and wasn't living in alignment. I didn't care if I lived or died. True story. Yeah. I would have fun and be like, I'm having fun.
If this is my night.
If this is my night, this is my night. Great. And then I had a little daughter. And then I realized I had gifts of oration, of this mind, of this body that I had to give back. And I kept having these near-death experiences, and I would come out okay. And it was no coincidence. It was God saying, hey, man, I got bigger plans for you. You got to wake the F up.
Yeah.
So I say a lot of times you can fix anything but death. And I understand. I do a lot of research on suicide, and it's very serious. And it scares the hell out of me, and it makes me sad, because when somebody decides that, they believe that it's going to make the world a better place, and they believe there's no other options. And I'm here to tell you again, I'm going to say it again. We can fix anything but death.
Yeah.
So there are options. If you're feeling that or seeing that or feeling this, reach out to somebody, because everybody cares. I care, you care, your family cares. And the irreparable harm that you do by your loss, especially in that method, has rippling effects for generations.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about people that do the kind of like, they call it, I don't want to say death by, what is it?
By 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, that's the one that's the mother scratcher, where you drink yourself to death over a slow period of time, or death by, what do they say? I'm thinking about the people that don't want to take their life. They'll go and get a high speed chase and have have the police assisted suicide. That's
wasn't my fault. Yeah.
So there's other things that are going on to play, but at the end of the day, it's right here, 6 inches in our head, and it's not your fault. And you have to realize that. And you ask, so a long answer to a short question is, we have to look inside. We have to ask for help and admit that there's something wrong.
Yeah. And
be vulnerable enough to realize that I need help, and ask for it. Yeah. Because you'd be amazed. Tyler, I've been my whole life where I've done everything myself, quote unquote myself. I never asked for anybody, any help for anything. It was me against the world. And then I realized when I surrendered and allowed goodness into my heart and into my life, it became abundant. I'm here today from a lot of abundance. A lot of things had to align. I met some amazing people yesterday, from people pushing me and helping me. So you can live a life in lack and scarcity and scared, or love and abundance.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do, as much as if you wake up and you're on that negative cycle, is realize that you're alive. So be grateful, and try to look for something lovable in your life, and then reach out and get help. That doesn't mean drink, doesn't mean take drugs, doesn't mean go get pills. It means let's really dig into the hard stuff.
Yeah.
And there are people that are experts at this. You and I we know enough to be dangerous, and I'm going to hug anybody or anything and do everything I can to help anybody everywhere. And when I see homelessness or people that feel that they have no other way, I just want to hug them. My compassion, it's one thing that I got out of this that I love the most, Ty, is it's, I didn't have feelings before. And now I feel the emotion. I mean, right when you were just talking about that, my heart started tugging. And that's what the Harder Than Life mission's all about. Yeah. We need to be harder than life. You have to be the buffalo, and you got to face your fears to live your dreams. I get it. So it's all about mindfulness. And you'll hear everybody has the same 6 to 10 things that they should do and need to do. And you probably do daily. That starts with the meditations, the journaling, the working out, the eating right, I do mirror work, everything positive. I just put a post up this morning. I met a young kid yesterday. He says, how do you get over the fact, Can I swear on this?
Yeah, of course.
How do you get over the fact, and he said, this is going to sound weird, that I feel like a piece of shit every day? I just hugged him. I said, who told you that? Where did that start? And this stuff is learned. We were born pure and loving. And then somewhere along the lines, we pick up this negativity. So if we picked it up, we could put it back down. And I'm living proof of it.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in I grew up in hell, and I'm on fire now.
Thank you to our sponsors over at Bucked Up. I love this company. I love their products, their apparel, and their supplements. Recently, they dropped the mother of all pre-workouts, Mother Bucker. This is not for the faint of heart. This will make you want to claw your face off. So don't get stuck in traffic when you're headed to the gym. I love these guys. I love this company, and I love their products. They are clearly the best tasting pre-workout on the entire market, and they're number one for a reason. Bucked Up is my favorite workout brand, hands down. And they also have my favorite apparel for working out and just for daily life. It's Lululemon-like quality, but for a fraction of the price that's affordable. So head over to their site, buckedup.com, where you can check it out. And for 20% off their entire site, use the code TylerHall20.
Everybody can do it. Because I grew up off of 8 Mile, and you know the 8 Mile that Eminem made famous. I went to high school with him for a year. He is that movie was very much like our life. It was fighting, drugs, drinking, driving around, going to clubs when you're young, living in trailer parks, people betraying everybody. But that was our brotherhood.
Yeah. So I love meeting people like you, Kelly, because, you know, most people, the math says that most people didn't probably grow up in like perfect circumstances, right? And everybody's version of what that means is different. Obviously, it's all relative. But if you ask most people, they would say, yeah, like my upbringing was like, it kind of sucked, right? And so to see that you can get from where you were to where you're at today, it's incredible. It's why I love meeting people like you.
Before you ask a question, let me just,
Please.
I just had an epiphany.
Yeah.
I just said this to one of my dear friends this morning. I think I grew up the perfect life for me. Because what I'm about to do, what I'm about to put into this world
It's only possible.
Couldn't be possible if
sure.
I didn't go through that and experience that contrast. Now, there were pivotal moments in my life where I could have chosen wrong, and this would be a different story.
Sure.
And I just said to my friend this morning, I said, you've been with me at 2 pivotal points. One point was I got arrested for selling drugs in college, and everybody turned their back on me but him. And another point was when I decided to quit drinking. Both times negative points. I said, I'm here this weekend in your home at a positive point.
Yeah.
And I said, I believe this is going to be finally the trigger that puts me into the stratosphere of 2024. So I put that out in the world, not to be braggadocious, but to put the pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, when you can look back at the hardships in life and realize it was aligning you, and that's the best part about life. Looking backwards, you can connect the dots.
Yeah.
Every single thing worked out for me, even though it didn't seem like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but I lived the perfect life for me. And then, you know, and the perfect life, who knows what that is? You know, this one's perfect for me. And I took advantage of every negative situation and every positive situation. It wasn't all doom and gloom. And I had grandparents that stepped in and tried to love me. Things were I had a pretty tough armor on at that point and didn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the arena, bro. I'm in the freaking arena battling it every day. And then there's people that are out in the cheap seats that bought the tickets that are watching me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep battling, and I invite you down. The door's open. Come on.
Yeah. I want you to describe this hell that you went through. That's the word that you use, so I'll use it back. The nature of this podcast being that it's the Rollercoaster Podcast. Describe the roller coaster that you went through when you were coming up as a youth and then into adulthood.
I'll tell some stories that I've never told out loud. I wrote a book, Harder Than Life. It's available on Amazon. I also did the audio for it. So if you want to hear some horrible stories, they're in there. But you can read the book. My mother beat the hell out of me on my 9th birthday. My birthdays aren't big great things for me.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at them though. Yeah. My stepfather drowned me, tried to kill me. My stepfather gave me the first beer. I was nothing, just nothing. I was there to be their servant. And honestly, I figured sometimes he would discipline. It felt like he would discipline me so I could be there to wait on him hand or fist, because he was an overweight gentleman that was as lazy.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't matter day in and day out. And then life, my mother, this is something that I never said anyway. My mother had a stalker for years. So she had an affair, and then he took it to the next level, and he would stalk from I think I was in 7th grade until I was a senior. So what is that? 6 years? 5 years, can't add. And during that time, I became a man, and I started lifting weights, and I put this guy in the hospital. And all the vengeance in the world I took out on this poor gentleman, and he did nothing but get with someone who else was hurting. So when they say, hurt people, like attracts like, I can look back now with all the healing and all the work I've done and realize these are just two people that just had emptiness in their hearts. And then here I come along and frickin' put the poor guy in the hospital because I think I'm being threatened. My entire upbringing, during my 4 to 5 years that I'm supposed to become a man, I was scared to death. I was afraid this guy was going to and he would stalk the house, and I was home alone, and I just was hungry and scared my entire childhood. That's it. So I'm never hungry and I'm never scared anymore. And, but there are moments in my life now that if I am hungry, you can tell, get him some food. Because you don't want me scared or hungry, because I'm coming with a vengeance. That's when I say, face your fears, live your dreams. That's immediate. It's go time for Siegel.
Yeah.
So it was, that's it. It was running for your life, and felt like you had no control over anything for my entire upbringing until I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16. And I was like, oh. And the freaking wheels fell off, bro. I realized that,
you thought it was bad.
No. What I mean by that is I saw relevance, in drinking and partying. I became the best party animal, womanizer that you've ever seen for a good, probably 20 years. And it was fun.
Yeah.
But I hated myself. Yeah. So it went from one to the next, and then now I've brought it all in, going right down there, and I love who I am now, and I'm proud of it. And my daughter looks up to me, and she can be proud to know that I didn't win a quiz show to figure that out. Yeah. And I didn't hit rock bottom to quit drinking. I just was examining the data of my life and the happiness of it, and said, it's got to go. Yeah. This alcohol and drugs got to go. It's mixing me. It's putting me around an element, and I'm not judging people. Yeah. There's a lot of people, and everyone says, "Oh, you just did it to the excess." No, even if I didn't, even if I would have done it moderately, it still had me around. It had me numbing out feelings that I needed to feel. Yeah. It had me not facing my fears, and it had me hanging around with people that didn't want to get better. So inevitably, you'll hear me say crabs in a bucket all the time. Those are the crabs in a bucket, and I got nothing against them, but. If you're commiserating with your friends, and I hear this all the time, I die for my friends. I would have died for my friends until I quit drinking and realized they weren't my friends anymore. So if you think that the friends are your friends, make a couple changes and see who goes with you. See what happens. And really, when I said, I want to go back to that commiserate, man. They say misery loves company. No. Misery hates being alone. So you're going to go to somebody else. I'm feeling some kind of something. Let's go get a drink. And then you commiserate. And then if you try to ascend, they're going, oh, you're just being hard on you. Don't be so hard on yourself. And they keep the other crabs in the bucket. Yeah. Instead, I want people like you go, bro, I feel something's going on. You seem to be drinking a little bit much. You seem to be taking some pills. You haven't been hitting the gym. Let's talk. Yeah. Because people care. But it takes two people to be vulnerable and realize, let's look in the mirror Let's face our fears and let's go forward. And that's what needs to happen more. It's just create awareness, create a safe place to have that conversation, and then do it. If you're going to drink together, why can't you get better together? It's insanity.
It's a great point, Kelly.
You can find everybody. I could throw a stone and get 50 people to go out drinking with me. But if I said I wanted to have a meditation or let's go do something for charity,
not many.
Now I've cultivated a pretty good crew.
Yeah.
I can make a text message now and have a lot of money and a lot of people ready to rock.
I love it.
As you know.
I want to dig on that a little bit more. So you talked about, men specifically, not to discriminate against women. I think women tend to be better at this, but we have a really hard time being vulnerable. And that's sort of problem number one. Problem number two is we also don't feel like we have other men that we can turn to and talk about things and community. And you used a word that I really appreciate, which is other men that make us feel safe. And I think our egos tend to get in the way because we say, well, I don't want to put my burden on somebody else. I'm a man. I can handle this alone. Well, you can handle it alone until you can't, right? And so, how do you encourage men out there to just open up, to show their emotions, to let their guard down, to be vulnerable, to allow themselves to be seen, and then to develop community of other men around them that will allow them to feel safe?
Ooh, they're gonna like this answer. It's loving yourself. When you traditionally love yourself, to the point where you trust yourself to get out of any situation, you don't mind me saying, "Hey, man, I'm feeling this." Because if I say I'm feeling like a sissy right now, I'm scared, Todd, and you say, "Quit being a bitch," or you say, "Tell me more," I get what I want or what I needed.
Yeah.
So, and immediately I know that if you tell me I'm being a bitch, you're not for me.
Yeah.
And you just gave me what I needed. What I want is a safe place to have some dialogue.
Yeah.
And I want to, and sometimes where we are like women, we do need to just get it off our chest.
Yeah.
So before you got to do the blocking and tackling. So do some meditations, do some affirmations, do some working out, do some listening to podcasts that talk about this. And then the best thing for everybody, this is men or women, but especially us men that hold everything in, journal. Even if it doesn't make sense to anybody, not even yourself, just get those thoughts out of your head. Something magical about writing things down that since I started that practice, and I was worried that somebody would find it, but as I love myself, I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
They're going to see a flawed individual
Yeah.
in the arena trying his best. And here's a newsflash on this. I'll tell you what I'm journaling about mostly. Love. I want to be loved. Yeah. It's something I'm still working on. So I would say, you got to find people that are ahead of you, that are exuding vulnerability, and see how it brings you closer. That's what people don't realize. Vulnerability brings you closer.
Yeah.
I tell you something vulnerable about me and you hear it, we just build trust.
Yeah.
That's much more trust than going and having a shot together. Because I'm going to tell you what, when you're drunk, you don't remember crap. We're going to frickin' bond over vulnerable shit. Oh man, you're feeling like that too? You don't feel love?
Yeah.
How did that happen for you? Tell me, what did you do to finally flip that switch? Man, that's a freaking great dialogue to have.
Yeah.
We're so freaking, and remember, this meant, because you were supposed to be tough. Parents hold everything in, be tough. Man, hey, that ain't it. We've seen suicides and obesity and I always say to people, if being tough and being rich were the answer, we wouldn't have had Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Prince. So you want to be rich in this world? So if nothing else I said resonates with you, you want to be rich in this world, not talking financially, but in all facets of life.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable, work on your mind, and money will come. Because you never see the reverse of what we think. You never see a rich guy who's really, really successful at home because he's rich. But you could see somebody really successful in their personal life excel and be filthy rich. The inverse isn't true, or else we wouldn't have these suicides or these stuff like that. So work on your mind over and over and over. And it's such a kooky thing. So when I was going through the darkest of dark in my harder than life journey, it's when I quit drinking and then the pandemic hit and I was alone. I literally ground on myself like there was no tomorrow. It was violent. So, and then I started letting people in and your vibe attracts your tribe. There's other people like this, man. Look at me. I'm with you. You know, I've seen your eyes tear up a couple of times. That's awesome, bro. We're going to be friends forever over that. And I tell everybody, text me if you need anything, call me. I will make time. I'm available 24/7 because I've been there, done that, and it doesn't feel good. I tell you what doesn't feel good: going and having a drink and numbing it out. Yeah, it just kicks the can down the street, and then eventually you explode. Yeah. So let's get it out of there, and then let's go do some cool shit. You know, we're in Utah right now, man. Look at these mountains. You can go for a hike. Yeah. We can go, and that's the other thing too. Giving to others is the ultimate service. You cannot feel bad going and serving other people. Amen. Just impossible.
Love it. There's a word that you've used very intentionally several times. And that word is work. And so you've referenced mirror work, you've referenced mind work, healing work. One practice that I've become huge with is breath work. Okay. I think that there's a reason why this word exists in these various facets that we both think are very important. Talk to me about this word work, right? As you're sort of trying to find yourself and figure out who you are, which I think you're most of the way there, but you mentioned, I still have work to do. Why is work the word?
Because work works.
Damn it.
The harder I work, the luckier I get. Nothing works unless you do. I mean, everybody is the big buzz right now is manifestation. But you can't just sit here and think I want all these things and do nothing. What you do is you put your mind in that expansive, what's the word, abundant state. Yeah. Then you take action, and then it comes. People forget that part. So the secret, I'm just gonna put myself in the thought, and so you have to take action. You must take action. So work works, and there's no substitute for hard work. Yeah. And I don't mean physical work. I haven't really done much physical work over the last few years anymore. I used to. If my team asked me at National Technology Management, they're down a man and we got to go pull cable, man, I throw on my work boots and I go running. Yeah. But I'm more there to tell jokes and laugh. But the real work is that freaking mindfulness work. Yeah. You could be exhausted on a day of just sitting around meditating, or I do a lot of times where I just sit quiet. I just interviewed a guy. He said, what is it? You want the answers? Or they said, God said, if I wanted to hide the answer to life, I put it in stillness, solitude, and silence. Because nobody will go there. Yeah. So and it was profound that he said this to me, because what do I do a lot of? Stillness, silence, and solitude. I spend an inordinate amount of time by myself, because that's when I can be creative. That's when I can be expansive, and I can think about how I can make my biggest impact on the world. Now, I don't mean to be, it just works out that way. Yeah. I'm starting to build a tribe of badasses like you that I'm going to start driving up the wall, be like, okay, everybody meet at my Florida house, and I got this crazy idea of how we're going to donate $10 million to a charity. That's the kind of things I want to do. Yeah. And I have these crazy, big, hairy, audacious goals. But when I was in a fraternity in college, and that's where I got my first taste of love and real brotherhood. And it's amazing when you get people working together, what you can accomplish. I just read this the other day, and I'm going to screw this up, but you'll get the metaphor. Yeah. Basically, one Clydesdale horse can pull like 2,000 pounds. Yeah. And then when you put two, it goes to like 18,000 pounds. Yeah. Because them working together, and it creates a little bit of healthy competition, and then the inertia is able to pull not twice as much, 10 times as much. So the old adage, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Yeah. And I'm just, with this country being where it is, I am a huge proponent of united, we stand. Divided, we fall. Yeah. We have got to figure out ways to work together. And you know how you do it? Communicate. Communicate vulnerably. It's the easiest freaking thing in the world. What do you need, Tyler? What do you need right now? Because I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. But it's on you to be able to look at the person and say, hey, Kelly, man, I just need a hug right now. And bro, I'm a hugger. I'll hug the crap out of you. I make it weird. I kiss all my friends, all the guys. I hug and kiss them because I love them, man. Yeah. I love everybody, even the ones that don't love themselves because and that are killing me on my social media because they need it the most. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to discredit my love for the people that have got my back, but I'm going to give a lot of love to everybody. And I, you know, when you do these daily rituals and habits and routines, I replenish my love tank every single night. I bring it to the next day and I deplete it that day. We live in these day tight compartments. And I tell you this, they say, oh, you only live once. No. I live every day. You only die once. So let's make the most of every single day above ground. Yeah. Because there's people that didn't wake up today, man. Yeah. I'm here for your podcast. It's awesome.
That's right. We can't go this entire podcast without talking about your physique and just recognizing what is required to be in this kind of shape, right? So you're coming up on 50. That probably sounds weird to you, but I think 50 is the new 40, and I think 40 is the new 30, and maybe that's just we're getting older, and so that's what we say, right? But you know, your physique is top 0.0001%. Specifically for your age bracket, it's like, listen, no, but let's be honest, right? Like you are in incredible shape, no matter how, like it's something to be seen for sure. So how did you become this, right? Is this many years of just consistent grind day after day after day? Why do you continue to maintain this kind of physique? Because look, you could walk around at 12-15% body fat and just be fine, but you're shredded, right? So there's a difference between somebody who's in shape and somebody who is jacked to the tits. So I want to understand just why you do it.
I'm not there yet. Thank you for all that. Thank you. Because, you know, work works. I've been doing this for 25 years. I have looked like this for 25 years. There's been some definition changes, but I've been this size since I graduated from college. I learned how to work out when I was in college with some big time bodybuilding guys and a lot of metaphors. I learned to work out with guys that were way stronger than me. Yeah. So they would push me more to the brinks. And then years and years and years went by and I figured out advanced medicine. So right now I'm on this kick where I just had 6 different, what's our time right now is remarkable. The medicine with AI is amazing what we can do now. I just flew to New York and had an MRI done with AI that gave me back results just like that.
Instantly.
And it was able to run through all of the data and say, here's what needs to be addressed. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I can afford that because I'm covered by insurance. I've partnered with a longevity health doctor who I believe that...
So Gary Brecka type?
Yes. I believe my life is technically half over, but it's just begun. Yeah. So I see no reason why if I take care of myself advancedly and correctly of what I've learned in the last 10 years, that I can't live into 100, 120. Yeah. I know that sounds kooky, but I think that medicine is only going to get crazier because you're not going to be limited by the doctor's mind. You're going to be limited by the computer that's going to know the whole world's data.
Yeah.
So I just went and had DNA tests. I had several heart scans, and they found something. I had a little calcium buildup on the top of my heart, so we made some changes. It's that thing that where athletes drop dead from. So I averted something.
Yeah.
And they were able to put me on all this protocol to enhance. So what you see right now is going to be different in 4 or 5 months because we're making all kinds of changes. Now, everybody thinks Kelly just does steroids. Got a news flash for you. I don't. I take testosterone. I say it on my podcast. I'm taking a new type of testosterone that this new doctor has just prescribed for me, and we laugh about it. I'll be a little bit vulnerable. It's cream that you rub on your testicles.
Oh, really?
So instead of taking shots, which everybody says, all you do is take a shot in your butt. No. I rub cream daily, twice a day on my testicles. So what this advanced medicine has learned is if you take shots or you take the pellets, you spike your testosterone levels. So as it's dropping, you lose effectiveness. Now, I do want to tell you, I didn't do anything. It was creatine and working out till 39.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just no matter what I was doing, diet, exercise, cardio, I could not stay awake. I could not keep thin. And I just went to the doctor. He's like, dude, your testosterone is 200.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what does that mean? So they put us on TRT.
Yep.
And I did that for 8 or 9, 10 years. And then now the heart of life, people want to be a part of it. They're like, can I help you?
Yeah.
So I partnered with this guy, and we've just tried some of the new advanced medicine, and we're going to see what happens. But you asked me why. Why do I do it? I'm searching for a second because there's probably something I can give you the surface level answers, and I want to be vulnerable. There's probably still part of me that fears that my stepdad's going to pop out of the window and kick my ass. I'm living such a good life right now. I don't want anybody to take it away from me. So heaven forbid somebody try to attack me, or and then it's my new addiction. Instead of going and drinking, I work out every day. I work out 7 days a week. I take the days off that God gives me where I just absolutely am traveling. Now that I don't drink, I take the 6 a.m. flights everywhere. I love it. Yeah. I love taking. So if I'm on a 6 a.m. flight, I try to land and go get a workout in, but sometimes you got to land and go right to your meetings.
Yeah.
So there are certain days, not many, maybe 5, maybe 8 a year. Those are my days off. Everybody's like, oh, you got to take steroids to get. No, I don't. Impossible only describes a degree of difficulty. Yeah. The reason why I'm here is for a bigger cause. So why not make the impossible possible? So I will tell you, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm building my mind and my body while I'm there. And then now I've really, really instituted stretching. I've noticed that the more I stretch, the less stressed I am. Now I'm not stressed very often at all. I've got to reach this peacefulness in my life where it's calm, it's peaceful, and I'm focused. So, and that's addicting. And it starts with that daily habit. I can wake up at 4:15. I have this same ritual every day. 4:15, I wake up, I have gratitude. I hit the ground. I go in the freaking my bathroom. I do a high five the mirror. I tell myself I love me. And I do a quick journal, do some meditation, and then I freaking throw some pre-workout in and off to the gym. That's my morning routine. And if I don't do that, I feel off. And I do, funny story, I do the workout in the morning at 5 a.m. because when I used to drink, the second I had a drink, I wouldn't go to the gym. So I said, all right, let's do the hardest thing first, which is my workout. Yeah. And it just stayed with me. Yeah. I'm the strongest in the morning. People are like, you're crazy, but I like getting that started. It's the best cup of coffee for me.
Yeah.
So why do I do it? Because there's a little part of little Kelly that's still scared. Yeah. And I told you at the beginning, when you scare me, I'm coming into action. Yeah. And you won't see it because I got to be tough. I'm being joking. But deep down, if I'm digging into it, it's just still that I don't want my stepdad to walk in and freaking hit me again, man. If somebody hits me, you better not be standing there. Well, that's a long answer to a short question. And then, I also believe that if you look good, you'll feel good and you'll do good. Yeah. And I am blessed. Some of this stuff is genes. I mean, the six pack has gotten a little bit crazy. I've had it my whole entire life. I used to tease and say, I have a lunch with a lot of sex, so that's why I have it. No, that's not happening anymore because I'm single and I'm alone all the time. So I just do a lot of crunches.
Yeah.
So it becomes fun. And then now I've got a workout partner that's been pushing me to the brink. And when you get my size, you have to tailor all your suits. So it's funny. I can't keep the same suit. It's different because I'm the same weight I've been for years, and it just moves around a little bit here and there. Yeah. So, and it's a great conversation starter, man. I walked into this event yesterday, and everybody knew I was there.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think you want to be that guy, right? And same. It's the reason that I'm probably a little heavier than I want to be right now. Like when I'm shredded, I'm 230, not 245. I'm 245 or I'm 243 right now. But
so how do you feel? Like, how do you feel day to day at 243?
I actually feel good. I feel good at 243 now, but I feel better. Okay.
There's what it is.
When I'm 230.
So I feel better when I work out. And I feel best when I'm at 210 to 215. Yeah. If I somehow get to 220 because I'm slacking or I go to the gym and I'm eating garbage, I feel lethargic. That's what I was getting at. That extra 13 pounds on our frame. Yeah. On any frame, you could feel that.
No, for sure.
So I invite you to get down at 230 and go change the world. Plus, we didn't talk about this, but I heard a quote the other day. Once you taste significance, success will never fill you up. My mission in life is so much bigger than me. And if working out is going to get me to that mission, you bet your ass I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do that and then some. And I'm going to do it. And I said at the very beginning, how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm not going to freaking drag my hind parts out of bed and go get cheated or go half-ass it. It's not in my DNA. It's silly. Why even stay in bed? I get up, my feet hit the ground, I expect to win. Yeah. That's the God's honest truth. That's why I don't coach people. I cannot teach that desire, that will, that grit, and if I'm being completely vulnerable, it is a will to survive. Yeah. And now it's to thrive and show, model, inspire, and show the world that, hey man, I did it. And I'm going to continue to do it. And we're going to operate at a high. Watch to 2024, what the Heart of Life, what we do. Yeah,
I love it. You know, it's funny. There's so many, actually, it's not funny. It's a horrible word to describe what I'm about to say. It's sad, which is the opposite of funny. It's sad that when you talk about your morning ritual, your morning routine, starting at 4 a.m., 4:15, and, meditate and gratitude and these sort of things, like, man, so many men, I get so much hate from people about the fact that I treat my days sort of like a machine, right? I'm fairly robotic with the way that I operate my days. But when I am with you, I'm completely present. I'm totally human. But those morning hours, that morning routine, it's like a robot. And it's crazy or sad that so many men look at that and go, yeah, well, I don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock. I don't need to do gratitude. I don't need to do an ice bath.
What's the rest of their life look like? Before you take criticism from anybody or even accept advice from anybody, are they doing better at you? I'm not going to take relationship advice from a single person. Yeah. I'm not going to take a dieting advice from an obese person. I'm not going to take leadership advice from somebody who doesn't own a company. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I asked you this much. Now, this is what works for me. I'm not saying that this works for everybody, but I will tell you the habits and rituals will work for everybody. If you want to scale that back to start at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or go into the night, it may work. I doubt that working out late in the day would work because you're going to get your heart going and you're not going to sleep well, and sleep is, you have to sleep. Yeah. So if somebody is offering a rebuttal to that, notice I didn't say hating or naysayers. Yeah, sure. I got enough of that. So if somebody's offering a rebuttal, what's your answer back to it? Yeah. If it's you're just rationalizing and justifying or my side biasing it, and because you want to sit and be lazy, hey, that's on you. Go ahead. Yep. If you're happy, I'm happy.
It's cool.
But this is what makes me happy. Yeah. And my routine makes me very, very happy. Yeah. So the answer back to that is just they gotta look and be aware. Are they happy? They want to move forward.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, you look at someone's calendars, you look at their daily choices, you're going to see if they're happy or not. You don't even need to ask them.
Yeah.
What'd you do all day today?
Yeah.
You sit on in front of a TV playing video games all day? Or did you freaking expand your mind? How about this? Did you do anything today to better yourself? That's scary. You know, I also, what I did left out of my routines, I read every day. I'm reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's book right now. It's amazing. I'm constantly feeding my mind and my body. Now, I'm a little bit crazy. I like it. It's to each his own. But the people that aren't doing anything except running their mouth, I don't got anything for you. I don't even have compassion for you anymore. Like this is an equal opportunity world. You can do what I do or parts of what I do. Just do something instead of running your mouth. Just something.
Amen. I want to close talking about your charity work. You talk a lot about this. It's clearly something that you care deeply about. Why is that?
It's everything we just talked about in a nutshell. I'm not supposed to be here. I should be dead or in jail. All my friends growing up are dead or in jail. And I'm here for a reason. So my purpose is to give back to the community. And the 3 charities that we are donating to now, we've done it with National Technology Management, my IT company. We've donated IT. We've donated our time and money. But what we're looking to do now is pretty aggressive. I want to go 6 figures to each of these charities. And there's 3 charities. 2 of them are children's charities, and it could probably figure out why. You know, I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up poor. So if I can make a donation that can make a difference in one family, we're going to do that. So the 2 children's charities, Children's Foundation and Variety. Variety happens to be very near and dear to my heart. I do a lot for them. Their biggest part is they provide prosthetic arms or limbs to children. You imagine that if you're born without an arm or a hand, or and what the game changer that is for them to get a prosthesis, and it's only going to get better. Yeah. We're talking about AI. The advancing. I own a technology company, so I see what's coming next, and there's going to be advances in medicine that people are going to be able to see again that are blind. People are going to be able to walk that haven't been able to walk, because they're going to figure out how to stimulate the nerves through AI to be able to it's going to get, people are afraid of this. They shouldn't be. The people that are afraid of it, they're going to replace their jobs.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a whole new set of jobs. Remember when the internet first came out? Yes, I'm that old. I sold people their first ever internet connections. People were like, what do I need this internet for? And here's an easy one. You go to any parking structure, there's no parking attendants anymore. So parking attendants went away. But you know what there are now? Web developers, web designers, social media people. Evolution is amazing. We will create new jobs. So don't be afraid of this advancement. Now, can some of this fall into nefarious hands and be used for evil? Everything can.
Yeah.
Money can. Guns, drugs, alcohol, sex. Given to the wrong person, we can mess anything up. So those are the 2 charities. The third one is Families Against Narcotics. My father died at 47 of drug and alcohol abuse. You'd think I would have freaking figured it out. He died when I was 23. You would think that I would have paid attention, but I went 20 more years because, I'm special. I'm invincible. I can do this. Now, again, it was 20 fun years. I learned a lot. I made a lot of money. I gave a lot back to charity. I would like to have some of those years back. That everybody sits in front of you, everything happened for you, and I have no regrets. I was 30 years old when I knew I needed to make a change. Yeah. And I quit at 43. Yeah. If I could have half of those years back, I could be that much further. Yeah. I could be up with the Ed Miletts and the Andy Frisellas and the Tony Robbinses, but I'm coming. Yeah. So the charities is, and we didn't talk about this, but I want to say this in closing, is that if you are struggling in any arena, we talked about suicide, but in any arena, if you find a higher purpose, it will get you further. Not material. And I've been working on this really hard lately. It's, if I can just get the monetization of Harder Than Life. Whoa. Yes, it's for charity. But what am I learning and what am I becoming to get to there? And remembering every day is a learning experience. So enjoy. I call it a crusade. Everyone says it's a journey. This is the Siegel crusade.
Cool.
And so it's about marry the process, divorce the outcome. And the funny thing about it, when you do that, freaking outcome comes. Right now, I don't know what's going on, but opportunities are falling out of the sky for Harder Than Life. You and I connected.
Yeah.
I was at I met Sean Whalen and Sean Finnegan yesterday. And it's just, we were working on merchandise. There was a merchandise guy there who's going to do my Shopify for me. I mean, it's like, this is God's work, man. Yeah. And it was from me surrendering and just saying, let's just let this happen. When I was a young man, I made everything happen. I forced it. I pushed. Core value of National Technology Management is tenacity. I was called a bull in a china shop because I used to come, go. But I realized here's the best advice I can give everybody. If you have to force it, it's probably shit. And you know what happens if you force shit? You end up pooping your pants. So what's meant for you, you ain't going to have to force.
Yeah.
And I mean that from a professional, a personal. I don't know love yet, but I will. The next time we meet, it'll be there. You'll have her with me.
Good.
So,
good.
And what else?
That's it, man.
That's easy.
Amen.
I want to. Can I finish with one thing?
Sure.
I just want to see people be kind to each other. I say this all the time, every day. I wake my daughter up. Be awesome. Be kind. You know, we're all human. We're all in this battle together. Tearing somebody down isn't going to make you feel any better. Lifting people up will make you feel better. So if you have any choice to do something, be kind. And here's one last thing. I always say this: tell the freaking truth.
Yeah,
it's so easy. I just, it's going to come out anyways. So be kind, tell the truth, and love everybody and everything.
Kelly, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for making the time and being on the roller coaster with us. I appreciate it, brother.
It was a blast, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay.